get a bit expensive at about $5 a pop. Some properties hold 20,000 cattle. So we're talking big dollars if we had to do that. But the whole thing is about, you don't have mad cow disease, we don't have foot and mouth. But if we ever did, it's supposed to be a 4-minute job to find out where they came from and who their friends were. It's all set in place. We can't afford to lose any of our overseas markets. It's a new thing. So here's got some on. Some of these have got them on. Some of them couldn't fit on a truck that I was loading recently. Got them ready, but they just wouldn't squeeze on. Of course, there's the big fella in there with the horn. You can have a look through them. You can see a few have got the cotton horn. Some of them have got the lovely clean heads on them like that. Pretty fluff and who here, she said. Now typical Brahman steer with the hump and the loose skin. Now when they get to 5, when you first castrate your little bull calves, you call them steers. When they get to this size, they're called bullocks or oxen. It's about weight. It's all about how much they weigh. So you can sell your cattle at any time, but the heavier they are, if you bred them, the more profit you're going to make. So say I get a call from the bank manager and he wants some money. Reckons I should pay some more money off my account. Just go muster and find a few steers. This is how it's done. Might sell a few heifers. But if we can hang on to those same animals into another wet season and they're very heavy, you're going to make that much more profit on them. Cattle prices go up and down, but there's certain times of the year when you make good money. One of them is, and we're in a great position for this, when the country gets waterlogged and nobody can get to the sale yards, there's hardly any cattle around. We're not that far away. Even after the cyclones, we could produce some cattle. So they pay high money, not many around. Then we go into the dry season and there's a lot of cattle around because everybody's trying to sell them off before they lose too much weight. Cattle prices drop a bit then. So there's all sorts of things that affect it. One of the things that's very important is branding. And I told you about the horse brand. If you were at my own property, I was tell you about 5 years ago, I ended up borrowing big heaps of money, bought a lovely property myself, so it's called Rifle Creek Station. And then I had 2 years of drought. And it was pretty serious. We had those couple of big El Nino years, and I wondered what the hell I'd done. Now 5 years later, it's all paid off and we're having beautiful years and I'm terribly lucky. But to give you an idea, I bought cattle on the property and they had a brand on them. And I had my own cattle who had my brand on them. So I put my cattle on the property and we had 2 brands on the one property. But they both belonged to me. I bought the brand. So the way you sort of ease one out is to brand your calves as they're born, even on those other cows, with one brand. Then you might just hand that other brand back to the government. Brands are very important. You can pass them on in families. Dad can give the kids brands, but you've got to keep them registered. So most brands are 3-piece like this. Okay, you can have a symbol brand. The Australian stock horse just has a big A. So most like that. My own brand is OKA. So you see that on the cattle of my place and on my horses generally. Here, the brand is 5YC. And if you've been looking, it's on these cattle here. Let's see what we can find. A nice big fat one. Have a go at this. You see where his brand is. You see if you can get him around. It's up on his high rump here. 5YC. Doesn't mean anything, it just is the brand that belongs here on this Weatherby brand. Did you notice though his ears have got bits out of them? That wasn't a naughty dog or anything. Since I had a lot of cattle in the yards, we were going to brand cattle, and suddenly we heard there's a cyclone coming. Just nipped the bits out matter there is, it's half the brand. We might not see. One place I did work on, it's 750 square miles and it carries 20,000.
Wow.
Now, it's all about rainfall and land use, you know what I mean? Some places, it takes so much ground to feed one. There's country on this property here that it's great in the wet season, but after the rain it wouldn't feed a termite. It's great in the wet season. This country here gets too wet in the wet season. You don't want cows here. It's too wet. They damage the ground. You need them up in the rocks and the mountains. So you've got to have a lot of different use. So when you talk about how many cattle per acre and that sort of thing, usually on these properties they talk carrying capacity like you asked. How many per station, not per acre. That's how it works. So it's one of those things. In a good year, you can carry a lot more and get greedy. In a bad year, you wish you hadn't done it. There ain't nowhere for them to go. Water dries out, the grass dries out, the country burns, and you just go, what now? Come on, God, what's next? Got to be the wet season, and everything changes like that.
How much help do you have? How much help do you have?
Not a lot. Usually hire help when I need it. Otherwise, I haven't got any other employees here. Yeah, that's just it. That's how you do it. You've got good dogs and good horses. You get people to help you when you need them. Otherwise, you just poke around the bush and see what's going on.
Do you train your own dogs
Yeah,
too?
I do. I'm a bit disheartened at the moment. I'll get over it. I've just had a very good dog for a long time, and now he's gone. You just go, oh, you other dog, you're no good. Sorry, sir.
How was he killed?
Cow got him.
Do you have any idea of how far back the breed of horse goes?
Yeah, well, the Australian stock, that's the thing. But once upon a time, that's many years ago, I got lost up in there, up in that mountain range, in the middle of the wet. I was there for a good reason. I was actually working for someone and we were collecting these endemic palm seeds that were going overseas for a particular contract right up the range here. And it rained 10 inches that day. So for all of us good little bushies, I got lost. Everywhere just turned into a waterfall. It was like, ooh. And they all went back to the car and went, we'll be going back to the car. And I went, where are you? Well, it was about 6 hours later that I finally got out of the bush. And by then, these people had all the state emergency services rigged up. It was pretty wet there. And in the end, many hours later, I started cooing and he cooed back, and he said he didn't know where it was coming from, and he just kept doing it till I came out. Now that's a long tip, wasn't it? True.
Shaking his head.
Here's Pete. We were just talking about the big cooey up in the mountain on the wet day all those years ago.
I'm up there.
Yeah, up there. Looks beautiful and scenic, doesn't it? But up there there's large pigs. Giant cassowary. Beautiful. Beautiful. Isn't it lovely weather?
Yes,
Particularly nice.
perfect.
Well, folks, I hope I've filled in on the gaps. I hope you have to give her a pat to that.
It's really. I think it's typical of Grand Circle that they try to get personal because every they're called. I asked her what they're called. Army ants. They're called green ants because they're green. They're green and they bite.
Texas, they call it fire ant.
Oh, really? I thought fire ants were like reddish.
And the same, I got that rock and roll beat.